Good evening and welcome to episode 36 of Loomer Unleashed. I'm your host, Laura Loomer. We have known for some time now that the fix is in when it comes to January 6th and the stolen election of 2020. The Democrats have relentlessly pursued every single possible avenue to prosecute anyone remotely involved, especially President Trump, who they have blamed for everything. Did you stub your toe today? Yeah, that was Trump's fault. Did your toilet get clogged? That's Trump's fault, of course. Did your dog get diarrhea? Did you have to clean that up? Was it a really big mess? If so, that's also definitely President Trump's fault. You see, the Uniparty's goal is to punish the MAGA movement and the patriots who comprise it for daring to support their president and fighting for their country. The ultimate prize, however, is to pin charges of election interference and so-called insurrection directly on President Trump himself. Fulton County, Georgia, has recently been the epicenter of this effort. Under the direction of corrupt Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney Fani Willis, the effort to disqualify Trump, put him behind bars, or financially cripple him is alive and well. New information is coming to light that shows the depths of Fani's corruption and how the conspiracy to punish Trump runs the whole way back to the White House. Imagine that. You see, Fani Willis has been the center of controversy for the past few months, and while she has been going after Trump with a full court press, it recently came to light that she was sleeping with the lawyer she appointed to lead the prosecution of President Trump, Mr. Wade, Nathan Wade. This was clearly an inappropriate relationship, and it was a massive conflict of interest. Willis is lucky that she isn't being put in jail herself for the circus and kangaroo court that she is running. But now, as we have been uncovering here on Loomer Unleashed exclusively, Fani Willis, we have learned, is working hand in hand with the January 6th committee back in D.C. That's been known, of course, but what we've exclusively learned is that she is particularly working hand in hand with Democrat Senator Jamie Raskin and Vice President Kamala Harris. Seems to be a coordinated effort between those three individuals. Evidently, the two have been communicating extensively for the past few years, and by that I'm talking about Fani Willis and Kamala Harris, as they've been actively trying to pursue every single avenue imaginable to stop President Trump and his allies. Yet, curiously, these communications have mysteriously been deleted. It would seem, though, that the J6 committee is attempting to hide their collusion with Fani Willis, especially in light of the scrutiny that she has come under. What do they not want us to see or find out about? I wonder. Maybe they're all working together to stop President Trump in an election year. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they don't want people to know that the legal warfare against Donald Trump is being orchestrated from within the White House. In February of 2023, Fani Willis scheduled a meeting with the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris. Fani Willis made an appointment to meet with Kamala Harris at the White House on February 24th, 2023. And why is this day significant? Well, it's the day after the FBI raided Harrison Floyd's home in Maryland, in Jamie Raskin's district. Harrison Floyd is one of the defendants in President Trump's RICO case in Fulton County, and he was the former director of Black Voices for Trump. You see, this info is freely available on the White House website. But do you see the mainstream media reporting it? Absolutely not. What could these two possibly be discussing? How often does the vice president meet with county-level DAs? Surely these two would never get together to conspire about how best to persecute and prosecute Donald Trump and his supporters, right? They wouldn't do that, would they? Interesting, isn't it? How this meeting was held just one day after Harrison Floyd, the leader of Black Voices for Trump, had his home raided by plainclothes FBI agents. Oh, and did you know that the same FBI agent who accused Harrison Floyd of assault is the same FBI agent who arrested Peter Navarro? Just another one of those little coinkydinks, right? Surely that isn't a coincidence. What do you think? I don't think this passes the smell test at all. You see, Harrison Floyd was so concerned that these FBI agents were going to hurt him or kill him and his family that he made a desperate 911 call as the raid began. As it turns out, Floyd, who's currently caught up in the lawsuit against President Trump and is listed as one of the defendants in the RICO case, was further attacked by Fani Willis, who previously attempted to revoke his bond as a black man, right? So she, is targeting a fellow black man simply because he supports President Trump. Nobody is safe. Harrison is just another victim of a DOJ that has been totally weaponized by the Democrat Party. That weaponization extends from the White House and Capitol Hill all the way down to the county level, as we see in the case study of Fulton County, Georgia. It could not be any more obvious that the J6 Commission, the Biden administration, and the DOJ have conspired to create an anti-Trump litigation network. Its intent is simple. Anyone remotely involved in J6 and anyone involved in contesting the 2020 election must be punished, according to Biden and his henchmen. Just look at TPUSA member and former Paul Gosar intern Isabella DeLuca, who is now facing jail time for simply touching a table while inside the Capitol on J6. This is a robust and meticulous planned operation that is commanded and funded from the highest levels of power within the government. At the White House, its arms have extended all the way down the country to the county level, as we have seen via Fani Willis in Fulton County, Georgia. Between now and Election Day, these corrupt deep state Dems will pull out every last stop in order to inflict as much damage to MAGA and Trump as possible. The lawfare is going to reach a fever pitch, as in New York, where their Attorney General, Letitia James, is now on a personal vendetta to seize Trump Tower and other Trump properties, like his golf club. Even if Trump wins, expect these disgusting people to have a few more tricks up their sleeve. It is important to understand that all of this is being done out of a deep hatred for President Trump and for conservative America. It is intentionally designed to sow despair and hopelessness, to show us the power the government has to totally wreck our lives at the drop of a hat if they wish to do so. The message is clear. Don't you ever think about beating the system again. Don't you ever think about repeating 2016 or challenging an election like the crime scene known as the stolen 2020 election. But that is exactly what we are going to do. In spite of this opposition, the corruption, the weaponization of our government, we are going to have another victory this November, and we will never give up the fight to make America great again.
There is a young female journalist, conservative journalist by the name of Laura Loomer. If America's mad, I go like Laura Loomer. No, I don't take shit. I got no love. Probably fix it.
Chained herself.
She chained her.
Good evening and welcome to episode 36 of Loomer Unleashed. I am your host, Laura Loomer. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are live right now on rumble.com. So if you in the studio, rumble.com/Laura Loomer, and you follow my account and also click the Get Loomer button. That is how you can subscribe to support me. You click Get Loomer right there. After you follow me, you can click support, and when you click support, you can either subscribe annually for $70 a year or monthly for $7 a month, or you can give a one-time donation to support my independent journalism and the production here at Unleashed. We have a lot to talk about tonight. We have a lot of great guests as well. We have Congresswoman Nancy Mace from South Carolina, who's going to be joining me at 8:45. And then we have Ken Matthews from the Ken Matthews Show, formerly syndicated radio host, before he got canceled for a little hot mic about Biden. He's going to be joining me tonight as well at 9. So stay tuned. But I want to get into it right away. Exclusive. You can see this is a report that we broke on exclusive. Fani Willis made an appointment to meet with Kamala Harris at the White House the day after Harrison Floyd was raided by the FBI in Jamie Raskin's district. This is an exclusive report, so I'm going to go through this right now with you. I'm going to also talk to Ken Matthews about this. When we have Congressman Mace on, we're going to talk about this ridiculous omnibus bill right now that we're seeing in Congress. I guess last night the Democrats decided that they were going to introduce a 1,200-page bill. And they're going to say, oh, well, you know, we're going to vote on it tomorrow. So they have 24 hours, I suppose, to go through this bill. Loomer Unleashed has exclusively obtained black voices for Trump Harrison Floyd's 911 call. The local authorities following Biden FBI's raid on Floyd's Maryland home, where the agents dressed in plainclothes refused to show their badges as they attempted to serve Floyd with a subpoena concerning documents related to Jack Smith's case against President Trump and alleged election interference in Georgia. During the raid, Floyd seemed scared for his life, believing the plainclothed agents who did not show their badges were potentially attempting to kill him and his daughter. Despite this, Biden's DOJ charged Floyd with, quote, assaulting an FBI agent. And as you know, Loomer Unleashed has questioned Jamie Raskin from the J6 committee about the committee's deleted communications with Fani Willis. We have that video, actually. We're going to go ahead and pull that up for you and play it. Raskin has given us snarky answers each time, even going as far as telling us that we need to be deprogrammed. So let's go ahead and play that clip because we are going to play the Harrison Floyd audio for you. But before we do that, I would just want to refresh your memory and show you how long Loomer Unleashed has been on this case, because I think that we're really the only media entity in the country that has been doing recon on Fani Willis. I think so. So, you know, we've been doing recon work on Fani Willis and Jamie Raskin, obviously, because we're always there to confront them, and we've been following them. So let's go ahead and play the clip.
Congressman, why did your J6 committee delete communications with Fani Willis?
It didn't, and you're a cult member.
Well, you've gotten a lot of letters that said you did. Do you want to comment on that?
No, you need deprogramming.
I read the news, Congressman.
So as you can see, right, he said, oh, you need deprogramming and you're in a cult. So we're in a cult. We're in a cult because we want to know why the J6 communications with Fani Willis were deleted. And I just want to remind all of you that those communications have still not been released. Let's go back to the full screen here. In a recent exchange with Loomer Unleashed, Raskin became quite defensive about the J6 committee deleting their communications with Fani Willis. Loomer Unleashed asked Raskin, why did the J6 committee delete their communications with Fani Willis? Raskin then replied, we didn't, and you're a cult member. Keep scrolling down. Following Raskin's first snarky remark, we pointed out to him that it's just so ridiculous. We pointed out to him that his J6 committee has received multiple letters from his colleagues stating the J6 committee did delete their communications with Fani Willis. Instead of answering the question, Raskin told us you need deprogramming. So even if we're showing them the messages and we're showing them the letters from members of the House GOP that say, hey, you deleted these records, you need to produce the records, Fani Willis needs to produce the records. One, Fani Willis is not producing the records. And two, now we have these ridiculous members of Congress who actually behave like they're in a cult, okay, Jamie Raskin being one of them, telling us that we need deprogramming for telling him something that is official. That's an official congressional letter. So these people are just totally, out of their mind crazy. Total nut jobs, by the way. I mean, just absolutely mental, Jamie Raskin. Interestingly, Loomer Unleashed has learned that Floyd was living in Jamie Raskin's congressional district at the time that his home was raided by plainclothed FBI agents. It is also important to point out that Fani Willis attempted to revoke Floyd's bond the same exact day Willis attended a D.C. fundraiser in the same building as the Washington Post. So this is another video that was, another story that was exclusively reported by Loomer Unleashed. Several months ago, you'll recall I broke a story about how Fani Willis was having a fundraiser in the same office building as the Washington Post. And I'm repeating this stuff because I need to jog your memory so that you can understand, what the conspiracy is here. Because once you see that Jamie Raskin replied the way he did and that Harrison Floyd was living in his district at the time of the raid, you're going to see why this is so important. So let's go ahead and play the clip of us confronting Fani Willis outside of her fundraiser in Washington, D.C., which she then tried to avoid us at.
How's it going, everyone? I'm currently in an alleyway right outside the Washington Post building. You see those 3 SUVs behind me? Those belong to Miss Fani Willis. She avoided me earlier and went in through the side. It's pretty remarkable that the DA of Fulton County, Georgia, came to Washington, D.C. for a fundraiser. Why is she raising money off people in D.C. unless her prosecutions of Trump are literally national and it's being coordinated by the Biden White House? That's the only explanation to all of this. The only thing. It is literally quite a remarkable scene here, right outside the Washington Post. Miss Willis, why did you come to D.C. for a fundraiser? You're the Fulton County DA, not the D.C. DA. Are you coordinating with the Biden DLJ to arrest Trump? You clearly don't want to answer the questions because you put the garage door down. Miss Willis, are you sure you don't want to answer if you're coordinating with the Biden DLJ on your Trump prosecution? You talk a lot on X and in court, but you don't really want to talk when you can't control the narrative, do you?
So as you can see, the Fani Willis sign was very clearly placed inside the headquarter office. That was the lobby building of the Washington Post. And so you can see that, yes, it is a large building and whatnot, but still inappropriate for Fani Willis to be having a fundraiser at the Washington Post headquarter office. Just really not acceptable behavior. Let's see, scroll down. It's also important to point out that Fani Willis attempted to revoke Floyd's bond the same exact day Willis attended a D.C. fundraiser in the same building as the Washington Post, which was exclusively reported by Loomer Unleashed. Loomer Unleashed obtained exclusive footage of Willis attending the event. That footage we just showed you. An exclusive video from the event shows the Washington Post 1301 address, followed by a big picture of Fani Willis in the front check-in table of the fundraiser. So scroll down, keep scrolling down. You could see that tweet, scroll down. That tweet, scroll down, keep going. That was on, scroll down. That was November 15th, 2023 that I posted that. So that was months ago, okay? We're ahead of the curve. When Willis left the WAPO building, Loomer Unleashed asked her, DA Willis, why did you come to D.C. for a fundraiser? You are the Fulton County DA, not the D.C. DA. Are you coordinating with the Biden DOJ to arrest Trump? You clearly don't want to answer the questions because you are putting the garage door down. So we had the insight to ask her back then if she was colluding with the Biden DOJ, which obviously she is colluding with the Biden DOJ. We've seen it. We now see it out in the open. I mean, look, like, what other evidence does anybody need? Like, it's just so stupid. After it became apparent that Willis was not going to answer our questions, we said, you talk a lot of shit on X and in court, but you don't want to talk when you can't control the narrative, do you? And of course, Miss Big Mouth, I like to call her the Fulton County trap queen, right? She's a trap queen, just like Letitia James is the New York trap queen. We got all these trap queens, like these Shaniquas that just want to, you know, lock Trump up and take his properties away, right? I call them the Shaniqua trap queens. Anyway, Fani Willis made an appointment to meet with Kamala Harris at the White House on February 24th, 2023, the day after the FBI raided Harrison Floyd's home in Maryland. So what are the odds, right? What are the odds that that in 2023, in February, the day after the FBI raided Harrison Floyd's home in Maryland, that Fani Willis is making an appointment to go meet with Kamala Harris? It's worth noting that the FBI agent who conducted the raid on Floyd and alleged that he was assaulted by Floyd is named Walter Giardiana. This is noteworthy because Giardiana is the same FBI agent who arrested Peter Navarro, the former deputy assistant to President Trump. Another coincidence, I suppose, right? Or not. More weaponized government. That's really what we're looking at here. Keep scrolling down. So you can see here's the screenshot of the White House Gov appointment. Appointment made, okay, 224. That's Willis, Fani, whitehouse.gov. Appointment ends 228. Scroll down. What is happening to Floyd is yet another example of Biden DOJ participating in weaponized government. Okay, this is a system that has taken hold against President Trump and his supporters. So Loomer Unleashed has exclusively obtained the audio of Harrison Floyd's 911 call. Okay, so we're going to play that for you because nobody else has heard it. We have the exclusive audio of Harrison Floyd's 911 call, and we're going to play that for you. Floyd's voice sounded flustered in his 911 call to local authorities following a visit from plainclothes FBI agents who refused to show their badges. Floyd told the 911 operator, quote, "They followed me into my house from behind. I was with my daughter. They were threatening me. They came into my house throwing stuff at me. They grabbed my door and followed me. One of them had a gun. He had it like he was going to pull it out." So let's go ahead and this is an exclusive Loomer Unleashed report, exclusive audio obtained of Harrison Floyd's 911 call the day that he was arrested by the FBI. Go ahead.
Starting date Thursday, February 23rd, 2023, 12 hours 10 minutes 59 seconds.
Montgomery County 911, what's the address of the emergency?
All right, and is this a house or apartment?
It's an apartment.
What's the unit number? Okay, can you repeat the address just to verify?
Rockville, Maryland.
And what's the phone number you're calling from?
910. Harrison Floyd.
All right, good. Tell me exactly what happened.
So I was just accosted by two gentlemen. I don't know who they are. They followed me into my house from behind with their daughter, threatening me, saying a whole bunch of stuff. They came up almost into my house, throwing stuff at me. They disappeared. I had their contact information, but they followed me into my residence. I tried to close the door so they couldn't get in. They grabbed it, followed me in. They were very aggressive. I had my daughter in my arms, so I couldn't do anything. As soon as I put her inside, I came back out and tried to go after them. One of them did have a gun. He put his hand on his holster like he was going to pull it out. I got in one of the gentleman's face, and I told him, like, "Hey, you guys just followed me into my house, running behind me, yelling at me, reading from some document. I have no idea what it is. They never showed me any badges. They never identified themselves. They just ran up to me and said, 'I'm being commanded to do something.' I told them to go away. I told them go talk to, if this is political, because I work in politics, go talk to, Homeland Security, Jim Jordan. I'll talk to someone in their office, not them." And they proceeded to just literally, I thought they were going to burst into my house. They're lucky I didn't have a gun on me because I would have shot his fucking ass.
Okay. So, give me one second. Now, were they physically violent with you at all?
They were very, very aggressive. They were like, as I was walking up the stairs, stepping on the back of my feet, I had my daughter carrying me. I almost fell over on the stairs trying to get away from them, so I didn't know what it was. Somebody called me on the speaker box saying that they wanted to talk. I told them I wasn't interested in talking. It's probably the same people. So not only did I'm pretty sure it's the same folks.
Sure.
They came to my house and just with complete disregard. for my personal safety or my daughter.
Now, how many minutes ago was this?
Like, this just happened. I ran downstairs to go find them, tell them don't go anywhere because I'm calling the cops.
Yeah,
but,
like would you say 5 minutes ago, or?
No, like, this just happened. Like, I went back in and put my daughter away. My mother-in-law sent me a thing saying, I think these are the same people. I don't know if it's real or not, but she sent me 2 cards saying they were with the FBI. But these guys who just showed up, they didn't show me a badge. They didn't identify themselves. They just ran at me from across the street.
Now, can you describe the gun to me? Was it like just a black handgun?
It was a black handle, a black handgun in a holster.
Okay.
I never saw any badge. They never said who they were with. But they literally, like, I went up the stairs, and they literally followed me up the stairs, like stepping on, like, almost, like, I'm sorry, I'm out of breath.
No problem. Did you see what direction they were going?
No, I came back after them. They were going down the stairs. They disappeared.
Okay. Now, I do want to get their description in case we do see them on the way. Were they black, white, Asian, Hispanic?
White. There's something on the floor here, but I'm not picking it up. It says on the back, please return to Christopher M. Meyer, Special Agent FBI. But the FBI should not be fucking asking that.
Sure. And about how old would you say they were?
Mid-30s.
And what were they
40.
wearing?
Suits.
They were
They're the FBI. That's not how you act. And they're lucky that I didn't.
Now, were they black suits, blue suits?
They were fucking not dressed well. I can tell you that. Well, the suit they were wearing was fucking ugly. It was like one was blue, I think one was gray. They don't know how to match patterns and colors at all.
Okay. And did they claim they were with the FBI?
No, they never said anything. They never identified themselves. They never, that I remember. I never saw a badge. I was coming across the street from the swim to my daughter, and these 2 guys just rushed at me. And I said, I don't want to talk to anybody. I worked on the Trump campaign, so people can be crazy. And I told them, I don't want to talk to anybody. If you have anything, take it with the House Judiciary Committee. And they're saying, you've been served, you've been served. And I was like, you haven't given me anything. I'm not taking anything. I told you who you should talk to. And they're literally like almost knocking me down. I had my daughter in my hands as I was going up the stairs. And so I put her inside and turned around and went after them and asked them who the fuck they thought they were.
Sure.
Where's your fucking
dad?
dad?
Does anyone need medical attention at all?
I don't know. I gotta calm down.
Okay. Okay. And did you see where they exited the building from? Whether
they went out the door that I came in, and I tried to close it behind me, and they grabbed it and came in behind me, and they shouldn't have. This is a private building, so then I tried to race upstairs to get into my apartment, and if they followed me in the apartment, I was going to get a weapon, but they stopped right short of the door, and he threw something to try to get it in the door. It's on the floor now. I don't know what it is. I'm not taking it. I don't know who these guys are.
Yeah, of course.
They didn't identify themselves. It could be a crazy person trying to lure me into somewhere. I've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, of course.
And they literally, like my daughter was asking what's going on. She was shaken by the way that they were acting. I don't know who those guys are, but they need to be fucking fired, or they need to be brought in front of me so I can kick their ass.
Well, we do have
because what they did
on
is
the way
not
there now.
what we do in America.
Okay, going to meet you at correct?
Yes.
Okay, and now is that a secure building, or will they need a code to
Yes,
get in?
it's a secure building. I tapped in, and then they came in right behind me. I didn't think they would be that bold.
Okay.
And
now,
then they followed me.
Are you available to let the officers in, or will they need to buzz in?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so like I said, we do have units on the way there now. I put everything you said here in the call, but they're on their way. Just give us a call back if anything changes, though, in the meantime, or you have any further information, or if you'd happen to see them again, okay?
Okay.
All right, but they're on their way. I'll let you go for now, though, okay?
Okay, thanks.
All right, no problem.
End date Thursday, February 23rd, 2023, 12 hours 18 minutes 45 seconds.
So as you can see, it's a pretty distressing and troubling audio call from this 911 recording from Harrison Floyd, which Loomer Unleashed exclusively obtained. And again, the question is, right, how come House Republicans have not subpoenaed these records? How come House Republicans have not subpoenaed the deleted communications between Fani Willis and the J6 committee? You know, Fani Willis will not turn over her communications, and we're calling on the House GOP to do this. We actually caught up with Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, who, you know, just kept on walking and rolled her eyes at our DC correspondent when we asked her, because, you know, she's always talking about Fani Willis, but she's a congresswoman from Georgia. So why not call for a subpoena of the deleted communications between Fani Willis and the J6 committee? It just seems to be really coincidental that Harrison Floyd lives in Jamie Raskin's district, and then at the same time, Jamie Raskin is talking to Fani Willis, and then the day after Harrison Floyd gets raided by the FBI, Fani Willis is scheduling a meeting with Kamala Harris at the White House, right? It just doesn't make sense. But a lot of things don't make sense in Washington, D.C. And one of those things that doesn't make sense is what happened last night at 2 o'clock in the morning. Members of Congress decided that they wanted to burden us with even more bills that we don't have the funds to pay for. And they're trying to push through a $1.2 trillion omnibus bill that they decided that they were going to try to shove through last night at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'll just read some of the things that is inside this bill before I have my next guest join me. Let's see. Let's pull this up. It's going to keep funding Joe Biden's border crisis and the invasion of our country. It's going to continue funding the FBI headquarters. So, yeah, we actually don't need a new FBI headquarters that is going to be larger than the Pentagon because, well, what is the FBI doing? They're continuing their persecution of President Trump and his supporters. Just the other day, we saw Isabella DeLuca, who is she's just a young woman, right, that likes to take selfies of herself and post videos on TikTok. And I'm not saying that in a condescending way. She posts, these social media videos. She doesn't look like a criminal. She's a very pretty young girl who's a Trump supporter, and they arrested her, and they're trying to charge her. They're still rounding people up. It's funding a lot of leftist projects, like the continuation of the mutilation of children. But most importantly, it shows the weakness of the Republicans, because we're coming up, right, on this deadline tomorrow for a government shutdown. And what is Mike Johnson going to do, right? We can't have another continued resolution. Are we going to keep funding this invasion? Are the Republicans going to finally grow a backbone? I can't answer that question, but perhaps my next guest can. Joining me now is Congresswoman Nancy Mace, Republican from South Carolina's 1st District. So, Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure.
And thank you so much, Laura, for having me on. It's great to be here.
Yeah, we've been talking about how we wanted to have you on the show for a long time now. And it's great to have you. You recently endorsed President Trump. I saw he gave you a glowing endorsement as well. And
such a great endorsement.
Yeah, really amazing endorsement. And you were with him in South Carolina for the primary. And we were supposed to meet up there, but
I
I ended up, I actually flew there, and then I had to come back, and unfortunately couldn't stay in South Carolina. But
well, you went to the Darien Gap. You had a very important job to do to expose what was going on at the Darien Gap with NGOs and how U.S. taxpayer dollars are going to fund the invasion that's happening at our southern border.
Absolutely. And it looks like House Republicans and Democrats are in favor of continuing the funding of this invasion, because at 2 o'clock in the morning, when people are supposed to be sleeping, it's hard to sleep these days when our country is being destroyed. So when normal people are sleeping, right, they decided that they want to try to push through a $1.2 trillion bill. And I see you've spoken out about this, but I was able to exclusively report today, and there's a report up on Loomer.com, exclusive House GOP whip Tom Emmer pushes members to vote yes on uniparty-backed $1.2 trillion spending bill. And I obtained the exclusive emails and posted them today on my social media. Because why is Tom Emmer and why are the House Republicans encouraging Republicans to vote for this bill?
Right, we were getting whipped today. I got whipped today, and it was NOOOOO. It was
Yeah.
like hard no, hard pass. I'm not going to fund Joe Biden's wide open border policies. That's what this bill does. It's millions and millions of dollars to process illegal aliens. And no, I won't apologize for calling them illegal aliens that are invading the southern border every day, thousands of them every single day. We all saw what happened at El Paso today. Tell me that's not an invasion, but millions of dollars going to NGOs or non-governmental organizations to process the influx that's happening all across the southern border. It's un-American, it's wrong, and we need to stop it. This is the hill that Republicans should die on. I live in a purple district, Laura. It's a swing district. I only won it by 1 point, but I will tell you, even in my district, the number one issue that voters care about is the southern border. It is immigration. Even in my district in South Carolina, far away from El Paso, Texas, we've had members of the MS-13 gang arrested in South Carolina. We have a fentanyl crisis where I didn't know what fentanyl was 10 years ago. Last year, I personally knew 2 people to die of an overdose. We have human trafficking in my hometown of Goose Creek. Just a couple of years ago, 28 people arrested for human trafficking. 2 years ago, in another small town in South Carolina, and summer, over 20 people arrested for sex trafficking. These things are happening all across the country. It's an enormous problem. Even in purple districts, it's the number one issue people care about.
Yeah, it is. And I saw you posted the other day. We have that clip actually of that that invasion happening in El Paso, Texas today that was recorded. And you see National Guardsmen being overrun by a mob of illegals. We'll go ahead and play that clip in a moment. But you did post a really sad story the other day about a young girl. There was a young girl, I believe, in your district or in the state of South Carolina. If you could tell us about what happened to that young girl, because she was killed by an illegal alien.
Right. This young girl, Maddie Hines, was killed in early October in South Carolina. Her killer was deported under Donald Trump. And under Joe Biden's wide open border policies, this killer was allowed back in, and he killed a 4-year-old girl named Maddie Hines. It's not just Lincoln Riley, it's Maddie Hines. It's a number of women across the country and men that have been killed and murdered by illegals that are here in our country today. Under Donald Trump, this would not be happening. He'd be deporting them. They'd be getting out of our country. He would have Title 42. He'd have remain in Mexico. He'd be building the wall. When he was president, over 551 miles of wall were built under Joe Biden's tenure. He would like to build 21 miles of wall before the next election. That's the big difference here. We were safer under Donald Trump. People don't want 4 more years of Joe Biden. And I'll tell you again, I represent a very purple district. I had a voter call me last week, and they voted for Trump in 2016. They didn't vote for president in 2020. And they called me, and the first thing they said was, we don't want 4 more years of Joe Biden. We're done with this. We're back on the Trump train. We're voting for Donald Trump in November. Let's go win this.
You know, it's really great now that you're supporting President Trump. And I want people to understand, you know, how impactful this is, because you're not just, you know, a typical Republican that is, you know, speaking out in support of President Trump. You were not always a supporter of President Trump. You blamed him. You were very outspoken about January 6th. You were in favor of him being impeached, but now you have come around.
I was not. I was not in favor of him being impeached. I do want to correct that. I did not vote for impeachment and was not in favor of it.
But you were speaking out very strongly about whether or not he should be impeached, and the way you were speaking seemed like you were in favor.
After
January 6th. Well,
I didn't like it.
After January 6th. But I say that not to attack you and to put you on the spot, but to highlight that there's a lot of people in this country that felt the same way you did. And, you know, sometimes people say, oh, MAGA's a cult. But I want to highlight that, you know, you were one of these representatives that, you know, were discussing, well, should we impeach the president after January 6th? And you were not happy about what happened, but now you have nothing but nice things to say about President Trump. Can you tell our audience how you came to have this change of heart about President Trump, and what your message is to other people that may not necessarily have liked President Trump, may not have always supported him, but are now, you know, maybe like grappling inside with whether or not they should take that final leap and support him? Because I think it's admirable that you've done that.
Of course, and a lot of independent voters feel the same way that I feel. They didn't like what happened in January of 2021. It didn't make them feel good. They didn't like certain rhetoric or tweets, etc. But we have had 3 years of Joe Biden, and we've had back-to-back presidencies. We've had a Donald Trump presidency and a Joe Biden presidency. We can compare the two. We were safer. We were more prosperous. We didn't have endless wars. We were building a wall. Our economy was prosperous. Wages kept up with inflation. Everything was better by every barometer under Donald Trump. And we've had 3 years to compare Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. So for me, this was a really easy call. And people in my district, again, this is a very purplish swing district. They don't talk about J6. They talk about February 22nd when Laken Riley was murdered. They talk about October when Maddie Hines was murdered and was killed in South Carolina. They're talking about the endless wars under Joe Biden where Hamas is invading Israel, where we're giving billions of dollars to Iran to fund terrorism around the world, where Russia invaded Ukraine. None of this was happening under Donald Trump, because under Donald Trump, we didn't have weakness in the White House. We had peace through strength. Nobody messed with Donald Trump because his motto was FAFO. I won't say it on here, but it was like, mess around and find out. And our enemies feared him. And that's what people want. They want strength in America. They want to believe in our country. And literally the guy bleeds red, white, and blue. And we've, as he says, he and I we've come a long way. I'm a conservative, but I'm an independent voice. And I speak out, especially when my party spends too much, like we're going to do tomorrow. And I don't always toe the party line, but our party needs people like me that have a more independent bent, because that's the only way that we win in November. We can't talk to the echo chamber. We have to bring in suburban women, suburban moms. We've got to bring in people that that voted for Trump in 2016, didn't vote for him in 2020. We need to bring those people back home. We got to bring them back home, into the party.
And that's why I admire you. I'm not really known for liking a lot of members of Congress, but I really I'll just say a few of the things that I really admire about Nancy Mace is that, one, she was one of the only Republicans that had the balls to vote against Kevin McCarthy, to motion to vacate. So you were viciously attacked by that. And I understand now that you have an opponent, and there's some speculation about whether or not Kevin McCarthy is the one that's pumping money into your opponent's race, right? I don't know if you can confirm or deny that.
He absolutely is. So he absolutely is the one that handpicked her. Fortunately or unfortunately for him, he didn't vet her. So we are going to make sure, if we lose the primary, we don't win this seat in the general election in November. That is how disastrous the candidate.
And we will be helping to expose your opponent. Your opponent will be getting loomered because, look, we need Republicans like you. And look, I'm pro-life, but at the end of the day, I've said I'm in favor of exceptions. And, you've spoken out about this. And I do think that, Speaker Johnson and a lot of these other members of Congress who I like to say they're like wannabe Paul Ryans with a Bible, that's what I call Speaker Johnson. I say he's Paul Ryan with a Bible because he doesn't seem to understand that this was the driving force. And I'm not trying to mock him in religion, but the issue is that the polling shows that one of the driving forces for Democrat women voters going into 2018 and 2022 that caused us to lose the House originally and the Senate was abortion. And Republicans need to understand that even Republican women, right? 1 in 3 Republican women have more of these moderate views on abortion. And so I think that Republicans need to keep that in mind. It doesn't mean that you're compromising on whether or not you're pro-life. It just means, getting with the times. Another thing that I really like about you is you speak out about people in the party. You've gone head to toe with people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. You've gone head to toe with Kevin McCarthy. And now you're also speaking out about this bill. You spoke out about the continued resolutions. And I would like you to, if you could explain to the audience tonight what some of the more concerning things within this omnibus bill are and whether you think Republicans are going to cave tomorrow.
Well, let's start with the fact that it's a 1,000+ page bill, and we were given less than 36 hours to read it, to actually figure out and learn what bad things are in this minibus bill. We all knew that this would happen. Republicans are just as bad as Democrats when it comes to spending. And right now, our country, every 100 days, we're adding another $1 trillion of debt. You can thank Kevin McCarthy for that, because that horrible debt ceiling bill last year. This bill also blows through our debt ceiling limits. As soon as we do this bill, there will be supplemental aid packages coming, I believe, shortly thereafter. This is only the start. And within the bill, funding Biden's wide open border policies, funding these NGOs that are helping illegals come into our border to really transform our nation is wrong. It's un-American. It should be illegal, and it should definitely not be funded. But we're funding millions of dollars of Biden's open border policies. We're also funding, for example, almost $1 million for gender affirming care for minors without their parents' knowledge, permission, or consent. That should be wrong. I'm a mom. Most parents would agree this is not the kind of thing that the government should be funding. There is a lot of funding for far left programs, whether it's environmental or social, that most Republicans would not ever sign on to or agree to. I think this thing passes in a bipartisan way. I believe you'll see Republicans vote for it. I will not be one of them. I have not ever voted to raise anyone's taxes. I don't like the deficit spending, especially now with the rate of inflation. And I certainly don't want to fund Joe Biden's priorities.
Do you think, though, this would be grounds for a motion to vacate the chair if Speaker Johnson is voting in favor of this? Because he told us that he wasn't going to be voting for any more open borders policies. He said no more continued resolutions. And now it just seems like his little dirty trick was to push continued resolutions until the point of, us being in a general election now with a 1-seat majority. And it's like, okay, we have no leverage anymore. We had a slim majority, and it seems like every single time the Republicans have any leverage, they just blow it. I mean, I don't think the average American understands that we are 1 seat away from having Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. How likely do you think it is that we get Speaker Hakeem Jeffries before the November 2024 election with these early retirements and lack of leadership?
Yeah, well, and people that are giving up on the party, giving up on the conference because of the vote last year is wrong. You swear an oath to the Constitution when you come to Congress. You should fulfill and serve the entirety of your term. That's your commitment to your constituents, your state, and your nation. But I will tell you, Speaker Johnson is up against an army of people within our party who don't give a damn about you or your audiences or real people out there, hardworking Americans. I sit in these rooms. I watch the backroom deals. I see what goes on. Speaker Johnson and leadership have tried, for example, to, I believe, attach HR 2 to spending measures. I've watched meetings where we've had different factions of the Republican Party say, if you attach HR 2 to a CR or to a spending bill, we will kill the bill. Our own Republican Party. I've seen people do that. And it's disgusting to see this happening. I would like to see us stand up. I believe this is the hill to die on. I believe that immigration is a place where we can win overwhelmingly this year. And if Republicans don't see that for what it is, we will lose later this year. We've been wrong on women's issues. The immigration thing is a place where we need to get a backbone, get a spine, stand firm, because we can change the direction of this nation if we unify and we work together. But that's not what's happening on the Hill. It hasn't been like that for a very long time. The last time we balanced the budget was in 1998 under Bill Clinton.
So do you think then that this is
the
the McCarthy?
Thing as it's always been.
Do you think that this is kind of like McCarthy's revenge tour? Because it seems like it's the McCarthy members, people like Tom Emmer, who also wanted to be speaker.
Oh, for sure.
Because why would Tom Emmer? He's not a dumb guy. I mean, he's certainly malicious and vindictive. It seems like there's a lot of these McCarthy era people that supported McCarthy, people that were humiliated when he, was removed as speaker, who are intentionally trying to retire early so that Speaker Hakeem Jeffries becomes a reality in our country, right? That's what they want. They want us to have.
I do think that there are forces. I think there are McCarthy forces within our body that are trying to sabotage the Republican Party. Yeah. And I am disgusted by it. I've seen it firsthand. I've got a front row seat to seeing the way we are destroying ourselves. It's not right. All we wanted to do was get a speaker with the backbone, a speaker who would do what they said they were going to do and weren't going to lie to the conference. And for that, we do have people that are trying to exact revenge. That's why you're seeing Kevin McCarthy recruit people to run against any of the 8. They're throwing millions of dollars at us. And if your folks want to support us, we're at nancymace.org. You can chip in $1 or $5. Every little bit helps. We will have to spend it all. But nancymace.org. But yeah, there are forces within our party that are trying to sabotage our success. I still have hope. I think we will win despite those negative forces if we work hard and make sure that our candidates that win primaries are going to be strong going into November and raise the money that they need. We'll be one of those. We're working really hard to do that. And I want to go around the country, Laura, and help other candidates win, especially in swing states like Pennsylvania, Florida, Wisconsin, Arizona, Michigan, where we need to get women. We've got to talk. We've got to talk suburban mom. We've got to be able to do that and talk about the issues that they care about.
Absolutely. And lastly, what I wanted to touch on as well, I mean, we do have that clip, by the way. We could play that quick 30-second clip that you posted. You commented on it today about the invasion and how could anybody not call this an invasion, I believe is what you tweeted.
Right.
This is a clip of National Guard in El Paso, Texas, basically just being completely bulldozed by invaders. That's what these people are. So let's go ahead and play the clip really quick. This is what Congresswoman Mace tweeted today. Yeah, so that certainly is an invasion, as you said. That's what I saw firsthand when I was down in the Darien Gap, right? Very similar sites, Congresswoman. I wanted to touch on your interview last week with George Stephanopoulos, who ironically, of course, worked with Bill Clinton as a communications director. And I bring that up because, you know, the clip went viral and really he was just completely blasted for trying to shame you. You are a rape survivor, a rape victim. I don't know how, you know, what the proper terminology would be, but some people call themselves, you know, different things. You are very much a fighter, so I would say you are a survivor. You don't seem to have a victim mentality, but either way, I mean, everybody's a victim, right? When they are raped, they're violated. And so he decided that he was going to try to attack you in probably like the lowest way I've ever seen a TV commentator do so. We have that clip. I'm going to go ahead and play it because this has kind of really taken a drastic turn to where you've been like threatened. Your life has been threatened. People have been arrested over this, and Donald Trump has now filed a lawsuit. And so let's go ahead and play this interaction between you. It's a 2-minute clip, just so in case people haven't seen this. Go ahead and play the clip.
That apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who was an illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape. Just
it was not a criminal court. This was a
civil court.
It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money. And I find that offensive.
I'm asking you about
as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. My political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden. And you looked at the dueling rallies yesterday in Georgia. Laken Riley's family was with Donald Trump. They weren't with Joe Biden. The same guy yesterday that apologized for calling her killer an illegal, who was an illegal. And here you are trying to shame a rape victim. I find it disgusting.
I mean, you keep saying I'm shaming you.
You are. The question, it is.
How is the question asking you about a presidential candidate who's been...
You're asking a rape victim.
And there's no question about that. And you've courageously talked about that.
Because I've been raped. I think that's disgusting.
No, I'm questioning your political choices because you're supporting someone who's been found liable for rape. Actually, I'm not trying to shame you.
You are. That's exactly what you're doing.
You're not answering the question.
I think it's disgusting.
Well, you're welcome to say that, but you also have to answer the question. Why are you supporting someone who's been found liable for rape?
I just answered your question.
What is the answer?
He was not found guilty in a criminal court of law. It was sexual abuse. It wasn't actually rape, by the way. And E. Jean Carroll joked about all the money she's going to get and made a mockery out of this case. And I think that's offensive. There's a reason why women don't come forward. And when you have someone who says that they're raped and they make a mockery out of this civil court judgment, it's offensive to other women. It makes it harder for other women to come forward when another woman has made a mockery of it.
You said women don't come forward because they are afraid. They are afraid because they are defamed by those who...
You're trying to shame me this morning.
They are afraid to come forward, as you said, because they are defamed by those who commit the rape. That's what Donald Trump has been found guilty of doing.
He defended himself over that and denies that it ever happened, but he was not found guilty in a criminal court of law.
Well, You were right, and he's wrong, which is why he's now found himself getting sued by Donald Trump himself for making that very defamatory claim, saying that Donald Trump was found liable of rape. As you pointed out, this was not a criminal court. And so tell us about what has happened, because we also have the clip here of you posting that selfie video the other day explaining that somebody was actually arrested. If I understood that correctly, please tell our viewers what happened to you.
Yes, a few days after the now infamous George Stephanopoulos interview, I received a lot of threats, probably about every day since that interview. They still go on today. But we had a more serious threat last Friday night, and that individual was arrested. And it was a threat on me and female members of my family to rape and kill us, which obviously as a survivor of rape is rather disgusting. And I had to have, obviously a very uncomfortable conversation with my family last weekend when I got home to remind everybody about our safety and security and how we make sure that we keep each other safe and inform and communicate with the family on what's going on and where everybody is, et cetera, and why we don't talk about where our location is all the time with everyone, because we've got to make sure that we're okay and we're secure. And it's really disappointing. And to see folks come out and just attack us. But then at the same time, Laura, while I've been getting attacked almost daily since then, a lot of people, conservatives, far right, right of center, even left of center, came to our defense, because what George Stephanopoulos did was bully me. He shamed me with that question. I did, in fact, correct him multiple times on his lie about Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, that $83 million judgment did not have anything to do with rape or sexual assault. There was a $5 million judgment that included potential sexual abuse, but that's not assault, that's not rape. The jury had the option to charge and find him liable for rape, and they chose not to. So he has a real case of defamation on his hands, and I hope that Republicans, both folks that normally do interviews on ABC News or ABC News This Week, that they'll stay off the air, that they won't go on air with George Stephanopoulos, and the Republicans should Bud Light ABC News. Like, let's not watch it until they hold George Stephanopoulos accountable for all the lies that he told in that 10-minute interview about 10 times about Donald Trump.
Absolutely. Well, look, I think that you're a fighter. I appreciate everything that you're doing to fight against this ridiculous spending bill, that everything that you've done to, try to talk sense into other independent and Democrat voters as well. And I say that because, if you're a Republican, you're already with President Trump. I mean, you talk sense into Republicans as well. Yeah. I'm not saying all Republicans have sense, but we need more Republicans like you who are willing to say, listen, I wasn't always with Trump, but now I support him and I'm fully on board. And I really admire everything that you're doing. That after this show, I'm going to go to your website. What is your campaign website?
Thank you. It's nancymace.org. Like the pepper spray or a medieval weapon, whichever one.
Okay. I'm going to go to Nancy Mace. You said nancymace.org?
Mm-hmm.
nancymace.org.
Yep.
Election campaign, because I support what you're doing and I support your support for President Trump, and I would encourage everybody watching to donate as well, whatever you can afford, 5, 10, 15, 20, a max donation. What is that, like $2,800 or so? I try to space out. I haven't actually donated to any candidates this election season, so you'll be the first one I'm donating to actually this season.
Oh my gosh,
because I don't really like anybody. Awesome. I already told you. I'm going to a Carrie Lake.
Caucus of one.
I'm going to a Carrie Lake fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago on April 3rd, and I'll give Carrie Lake a contribution. But I'm going to give you a contribution tonight as well, and I encourage everybody to do the same. So Nancy Mace is fighting for President Trump. Nancy Mace is fighting for America First values, and she's one of the good ones. My viewers are always asking me, who should I support? Who can we trust? Who actually is trustworthy? Nancy Mace isn't one of these Republicans that said they were going to work against McCarthy and then took PAC contributions from him, right? And then didn't vote against him. No, she actually, is now being targeted by Kevin McCarthy. And I know what it's like to be targeted by Kevin McCarthy funded PACs, because it happened to me when I ran for Congress, and it's not fun. So he plays very dirty. He's very vindictive, and we need Nancy Mace in Congress. So please support Nancy Mace at nancymace.org. And anything else you want, or anything else?
I wanted No, I want to say thank you. And, thank you for all that you're doing. I know that you work very hard for the America First movement, for MAGA, but also for our nation. You're such a patriot, exposing what's going on, exposing all these NGOs. I was fascinated by your trip to the Darien Gap. I logged on every day and I looked to see what your updates were and
Thank you.
information, because as a member of Congress, we don't always know where our tax dollars are going. We don't know every single line item in detail. And what you're doing is exposing it and giving that information, giving those facts to the American people when most are not. And it's
they
a
wrote
huge
hit
labor
piece.
of love.
They did a hit piece on me in the New York Times about it. So maybe, perhaps you can commit, right, to doing an investigation into these NGOs. I know that I've been speaking with you about groups like HIAS and other groups, and perhaps I can send you this information, and maybe we can you can pass it to the appropriate parties in Congress, because there does need to be an investigation.
I would love to be, there needs to be an investigation. I would love to be helpful and be supportive and even educate people, because they just have no idea how we are funding our own invasion. And it's crazy, but we're funding terrorism. I mean, literally Joe Biden wants to give billions of dollars to Iran. I mean, I just can't even explain how stupid some of our policies are and where our tax money goes. So just wanted to say thank you. You're doing a really great job.
Well, thank you. And you hear it first on Loomer Unleashed, you guys. Look, Congresswoman Mace said that she followed our Darien Gap reporting, and it's impacting the way members of Congress and people are across the country talking about the invasion. And a lot of people aren't aware of the fact that these NGOs are receiving funding from the government, from DHS, that Alejandro Mayorkas was once on the board of HIAS. And I'm going to be exclusive. I might as well just break this now live on air too. So the president of HIAS, this NGO that is receiving nearly $100 million from our government, that Alejandro Mayorkas was on the board of, the president of HIAS's wife actually works at DHS with Alejandro Mayorkas. So talk about a conflict of interest. The wife of the president of one of the main NGOs that is facilitating, and I caught them on camera giving maps to illegal aliens, teaching them how to come to our country, works with Alejandro Mayorkas.
It's crazy. It's insane. And they want to pretend that there's no crisis at the border. But the American people, they're smarter than that. They know what's going on, because we have investigative journalists like you that are going out there and showing the American people the truth. So hats off, salute.
Thank you. And members of Congress like you. So, Congresswoman, I know you're busy. I know you have to, unfortunately, go spend time with some of your awful colleagues tomorrow and go deal with killing off this omnibus bill. So I hope that you're successful in driving the dagger through the bill tomorrow.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you for coming on.
Sure.
Thank you. Great. Wonderful. Well, that's great. I love Nancy Mace. I don't really like a lot of members of Congress. I tell people all the time, I said, I don't like most members of Congress, but I'm actually going to go make a contribution to Nancy Mace. So nancymace.org. And I'm going to make a donation. I am. I'm going to give her $500 because I believe in her that much. And I also admire the fact that she admitted that, she wasn't always with President Trump, and now she is. So I don't dislike people that make, negative comments in the past or critical comments of President Trump. I actually admire them if they come to their senses. I really like J.D. Vance as well. J.D. Vance once compared Trump to Hitler. Okay, he did. And now he's one of President Trump's biggest defenders in the United States Senate. So President Trump changes minds. And that's why we need President Trump back in the White House, because he's a fighter and he's going to restore fear into the hearts of our enemies. And he's actually going to make America a respectable country again. And he's going to keep us safe. You heard Congresswoman Nancy Mace say it firsthand. We are funding terrorism. Okay, we are funding terrorism with our taxpayer money. We are funding the invasion. They're trying to give $1.2 trillion, and they're going to extend this invasion. So we got to support people like Nancy Mace. And before I move on to my next guest tonight, the incredible Ken Matthews, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of tonight's episode of Loomer Unleashed, 1775 Coffee. Be sure you go to 1775coffee.com/Loomer. Because on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do we hate bad coffee? Okay, I really hate bad coffee, which is why I'm so excited to introduce you guys. And I keep introducing you guys to this every night, it seems like, because it's just so good. And I have to keep on telling you guys about this product. It's a company revolting against bad coffee. And that, of course, is 1775coffee.com. Whole bean, peaberry dark roast is the type of coffee that they have on the front page. They have all types of flavors. We drink it here in the studio, excuse me. In 1775, the world awakened to a new era, and now 1775 Coffee Co. is bringing you a coffee that embodies that revolutionary spirit. Crafted with passion and precision, the beans from 1775 Coffee are ethically and exclusively sourced from the finest coffee farms in Bolivia. 1775 Coffee Co.'s farm-to-cup journey ensures the highest quality, authenticity, and sustainability from start to finish. With each sip, your palate will recognize and appreciate the dedication and passion that goes into crafting its single-source brew. 1775 Coffee takes pride in offering customers a truly exceptional coffee experience with their premium coffee collection, but their dedication to this revolution extends beyond the realm of taste. Safeguarding freedom of speech is critical right now, as we talk about a lot here on Loomer Unleashed. We wouldn't be able to talk about these issues and talk about the invasion and talk about everything that's going on if we didn't have free speech. Which is why 1775 Coffee has decided to join forces with Rumble in defense of one of our most fundamental rights, and that, of course, is freedom of speech. Coffee that's sure to awaken all your senses, including the sense of freedom. Be sure that you choose 1775 Coffee by going to 1775coffee.com/Loomer and use code Loomer for 10% off at checkout on your first order. You all drink coffee, okay? Instead of buying it from Publix or Walmart or Target or Costco, Sam's Club, whatever you may do, go on over and support me, support free speech, and support Rumble, a free speech platform, by going to 1775coffee.com/Loomer and get your coffee today. So when you support 1775 Coffee, you support free speech and you support Loomer Unleashed, which allows me to continue doing the show that I provide you. Joining me next on Loomer Unleashed is my friend and he's very successful radio host, and unfortunately he got canceled because he had a hot mic moment reading one of Hunter Biden's text messages. And it's not fair because, he didn't say the words. He was just reading Hunter Biden's text messages, and it was a hot mic. And it's sad because, Ken Matthews, I remember back in the day when I was doing all my investigative journalism, Ken would always have me on his show, and I thought, wow, this is the coolest thing ever. This guy hosts for Rush Limbaugh. He was actually one of the last people to host for Rush Limbaugh before Rush Limbaugh died. And he's an icon, and I think you all need to follow his show as well. And I'm trying to get him hooked in with the Rumble crew because we gotta support people that are canceled. And I think that we gotta get all of you tuned on to the Ken Matthews show as well. So joining me now is my friend Ken Matthews. Ken, how's it going? I can't hear him. Oh, are you muted? I think you might accidentally be muted. Let's see. Hold on. We're going to get the audio tech working with you really quick. It seems like it may be muted. We're going to get Ken connected in a moment. It seems like there's an audio issue. I can't hear him. But Ken and I are going to be talking about this Fani Willis story that I talked about in the very beginning. I was playing the Harrison Floyd clip. So exclusive, Fani Willis made an appointment to meet with Kamala Harris at the White House the day after Harrison Floyd was raided by the FBI in Jamie Raskin's district. We had that report pulled up. I played the audio for you. You could scroll down. We can continue. We're going to get Ken reconnected momentarily. He's having an audio issue. Loomer Unleashed learned that FBI agents visited Floyd's in-laws, and the agents were there on a subpoena related to documents in Jack Smith's case against President Trump and any documents related to Floyd's conversation with a Georgia election worker. Despite these facts, Biden's FBI and DOJ are accusing Floyd of being in the wrong and have charged him with assaulting an FBI agent. I think maybe now it's going to work. Let's see. We'll get him connected momentarily. Let's go to the chat while we're waiting. How about that? Let's go to the chat and take a couple questions, and then we'll wait on Ken to get connected. Let's go over to the chat. By the way, we are live right now, so please be sure that you're reposting the live link. And I have Ken Matthews join me any moment now. So let's see. Limbaugh, fake. Let's see. Fake what? I don't know what that comment is. Oh, yeah. The election was stolen, obviously, yeah. I can't wait to have her on the Alex Jones show. That's how I found out about Laura, was through Alex anyway. How is Floyd doing now? Well, Floyd is still dealing with all of these legal issues, and he's waiting on people to contribute to his legal defense fund. Someone said, Laura works hard to stay fit and healthy so she can be at her best. To Loomer people should run Fani down real quick. Oh, yeah. We got to Loomer people. We got to confront everybody. Also, you guys, be sure that you support my documentary that's going to be coming out soon. Go to givesendgo.com/thegreatreplacement, givesendgo.com/thegreatreplacement. Let me get my producer. Are we getting Ken connected? He's reconnecting right now? Okay. Did we figure out the audio issue? All right. We got it figured out. Ken's going to be joining soon. So in the meantime, while we're waiting on Ken to reconnect, right, I'm sure you guys saw the New York Times hit piece that came out. So chasing clicks in the jungle, right-wing influencers descend. Oh, did we get a copy of this, by the way? Do they have an actual physical paper? We got to get a physical paper. We got to see if we can do that. Can't you order physical papers, too, from the New York Times? You can, right? Yeah, I think you can. Here it is, though, in the meantime. We archived it. Chasing clicks in the jungle. Right-wing influencers descend on the Darien Gap. The treacherous migrant crossing in Panama is drawing packs of American activists who are distorting how immigration is perceived. So look at this photo. Isn't this funny, you guys? This is my favorite part of the article. There's a Somali, if you've been watching Loomer Unleashed, okay? It's like, look at me, I am the captain now. No, but look at the bottom, the caption of the photo. This is the funniest part. Scroll down. I can't see it because you have to zoom. Yeah. Laura Loomer, a right-wing activist, recently interviewed Ayub Ibrahim, a 20-year-old migrant from Somalia in a migrant camp in Panama. Mr. Ibrahim later said he felt ambushed. He felt ambushed, you guys. Well, I feel ambushed. I think America feels ambushed right now. I mean, let's go ahead and play that clip of those migrants again busting down the National Guard today. Is this not an ambush? Because I'd say that this is an ambush. This is an ambush. Let's go ahead and play this clip. Put the audio up too. That looks like an ambush to me if I've ever seen one. So it's really funny how the New York Times wants to say, oh, well, Laura Loomer is ambushing these poor migrants. You know, oh, look at her. She's ambushing these poor migrants. It's so awful what she's doing to these people. No, it's actually not awful what I'm doing. I believe we have Ken now reconnected. So let's go to Ken because Ken's great. And Ken, can you hear me? I don't know why.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. It is now working.
Oh, good.
We figured that out now that you've reconnected. Thank you so much.
It is working. Okay, good.
It is working, yes. So I don't know if you've been following along.
Yes, I have. I enjoyed seeing Congresswoman Mace on there.
Yeah, she's great. Did you hear the previous segment, the audio? And you've listened to this audio from Harrison Floyd. Because
yes, and it disgusts me that they're treating a Marine combat veteran who's from a family of veterans that way, you know, that they're targeting a guy, and they're going after him, obviously, because he's, you know, a Trump supporter, but it's even worse that, you know, there's one thing that I see, this common thing among the Democrats, especially the Biden regime, and they're always going after law enforcement people. They're going after military people. They're going after church-going people. It's just this pattern when you look at their backgrounds, because the first thing you do when they get arrested or something, you do a deep dive on them and you go, why would this guy possibly be arrested? And then you see this FBI ridiculous frame up. And once an FBI agent says you've assaulted them, then your life is going in a bad direction.
Yeah, you know, it's really disgusting, but also, too, just the collusion. I mean, this exclusive report that we've released, we obtained the audio exclusively. Nobody else has this. Of course, you get it through public records request, but of course, the mainstream media doesn't want to do any work themselves, right? So nobody else actually has this audio, Ken. We're the only ones that have this audio.
I saw that.
Yeah, it's exciting. And what's really interesting is the date of this. So you look at the audio, okay? He was arrested on February 23rd of 2023. And then the day after that is when Fani Willis made her appointment to go meet with Kamala Harris at the White House. Okay, so February 24th. And that's the day after the FBI raided Floyd's home in Maryland in Jamie Raskin's district. So what are the odds that Harrison Floyd, who was the former director of Black Voices for Trump, is raided, arrested in Raskin's district, and then Raskin's communicating with Fani Willis? The communication between them somehow gets deleted, that they say. And then the day after he's arrested, Fani Willis is going to go meet with Kamala Harris at the White House. I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds? What do you think about this? Do you think that
this entire regime is a coincidental excuse? The timelines that are taking place with the Biden administration and just the recent Bobolinsky stuff that's going on, let alone the Fani Willis, and look at the Letitia James stuff. Everything is so coincidental. Everybody knows somebody in Washington. Everybody knows someone in a district where Trump is in trouble, and we're all supposed to believe this is coincidental. I'm just getting so tired, Laura, of the FBI being henchmen for dirty politicians. I mean, that's my biggest concern as an American citizen. I got to tell you, people say, well, what are you most concerned about? I would say they're going to continue weaponizing the FBI against people like, Harrison Floyd. And they're going to keep weaponizing the FBI against people like you and me. And you've been there. You've experienced it. But it bothers me that the leaders of the FBI or the DOJ or a bad judge or this Jack Smith clown, the independent investigator or whatever, that they can just make things up and the FBI leaps into action and destroys people's lives. I mean, we're in a very dangerous place in this country right now.
Yeah, we absolutely are. I think some people are starting to wake up, though. My producer just told me in my ear right now while you were talking that invasion is trending on Twitter right now. So, that's pretty big.
That's
Imagine,
good.
Compare the days of Twitter 1.0 back in 2020. How much we've progressed now that years later we're able to get something like invasion or Biden crime family trending on Twitter in an election year. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible to me. But unfortunately, there's still some people that are asleep at the wheel and they're not really paying attention. And what do you think about this, though? Listening to this audio and then seeing these screenshots, and we can pull the screenshots up too, and people can see them. They can follow along on this report on Loomer.com. The audio is actually embedded, and they can watch all the old videos too of us confronting Raskin. But when you see the fact that this arrest took place on February 23rd, and then Willis is at the White House or trying to get a meeting at the White House the very next day on the 24th. As a I guess career syndicated political, radio host, and also I'd say political commentator, somebody that is, in the business of, political commentary. What do you think? I mean, am I crazy, or is this not like an act of collusion? I mean, is this just too good to be true, or am I going crazy?
This is Loretta Lynch on the tarmac with Bill Clinton. Difference.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. This is common sense. You don't even have to be an analyst or be immersed in this every day to understand. This stuff just doesn't add up. It's every single thing that the Biden regime has touched. It is so crooked. And then when you fit Jamie Raskin in, and let me just say this, God bless him for beating cancer twice. And I'm thrilled that happened. But that doesn't change the fact that he is a liar, and he's lying on the January 6th issues, and he's lying on the Harrison Floyd issues. He is almost like most of, and he's a close friend of President Biden, as you know. Most of Biden's close friends are pathological liars, like the guy from Connecticut that was lying. And then Jonathan Turley had to call these people out. This is beyond reality. And no, you're not crazy. None of us are crazy anymore. They're trying to convince us that we're crazy, but I think that's falling apart. I don't think people are buying it anymore. I don't think they're buying secure elections and Trump's an insurrectionist. And, as we talked earlier about, they're railroading this man into hell financially and every other way. The $500,000 fine, they don't even do that with child traffickers. They don't even do that with cartels. And they're going after Trump that way.
Well, and we can go ahead and play the clip too. I don't know if you saw this clip, but we've been tracking Fani Willis and Jamie Raskin for a while, and we have there's a clip of us confronting him. I believe. Let's see my clip list here.
May I suggest a Netflix miniseries title for what you've been doing? You can call it Tracking Fani, and just say like an 8-part series, Tracking Fani.
Yeah.
And then every day how far. And I noticed, before I forget, I have to. Is that Hunter Biden? Is that a Hunter Biden action figure behind you?
Yeah, it is. Do you want one? I'll send them to you.
I definitely want one.
So
I definitely want one. I saw that and I said, "Oh my gosh, bring it on!"
Yeah, they're called Grifter Awards, and I have honestly I'm telling you right now, in my garage, I must have like 10 boxes of these, and I think that.
Oh my.
Let's put in the chat. I want to give them out. I told my staff, I said, I want to start giving out these Hunter Biden figures to people. So
oh my God, yes.
Maybe, I don't know. We have to come up with some kind of a contest or something, but let's go to the chat and see. Do people want these? Because they're called the Swamp Prince Grifter Award. And it's Hunter Biden basically dressed in like a little Speedo. And I have it here in my studio. And like I said, here
it's incredible.
It's great. It says Swamp Prince, right? But
I mean, all the stuff that's going on, and you bring Ken on, and the first thing he's like, "Wow, I want one of those Hunter dolls."
And then it says, "Where's my?"
No, I have a Trumpinator. I don't know if you've seen my Trumpinator.
I'll send one to you. I also have a baseball signed by Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. I guess I'm waiting for the day that I meet her. Just kidding.
Wow. I don't know if you saw my Trumpinator.
What do you think
doll?
I'm talking about? Oh, wow, a Trumpinator.
Yep. Bobblehead.
That's great.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to play baseball with Ilhan Omar, right? And then I got my Trump hats and my Gator hat and my Ron DeSantis fake news book and, my bullhorn.
Who doesn't want to play baseball with Ilhan Omar?
Yeah, it's like a signed ball. And then I have other stuff, too, that I need to put up. But let's go ahead and play these clips. I'm going to play these clips because we have Charles Downs is my DC contributor, and he's just incredible. And every single time he calls me in the morning and we're like, okay, so who are we going to confront today? We just go out of our way to get Jamie Raskin every single time we can. And we ask him the same question every time we see him. Why did you delete the communications with the J6 committee between yourself and Fani Willis? So let's go ahead and play Charles confronts Raskin. This is clip number 7. Go ahead and play it. This is not the first time he confronted him. Let's play it from the top.
Congressman, why did your J6 committee delete communications with Fani Willis?
It didn't, and you're a cult member.
Well, you've gotten a lot of letters that said you did. Do you want to comment on that?
No, you need deprogramming.
I read the news, Congressman.
So you heard him say you're in a cult and you need deprogramming because we said there were letters that were sent by members of Congress that say that they deleted these communications. We're going to play clip number 2 as well because you have to see all of these clips. You have to see Charles confronts Raskin too.
Okay.
Congressman, why did the J6 committee delete their files?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, Congressman. This is like public knowledge.
You should read the report. It's all in there. A bipartisan report by Republicans and Democrats. Remember Liz Cheney? She was chair of the Republican conference. So what do you think about her?
Would you consider Liz Cheney a true Republican?
You tell me. You seem to be a true Republican. You think George Santos is
I don't think so, Congressman.
Trump is a true Republican?
Yeah, he definitely is.
He's a Democrat, and he was a Reform Party before that, and independent, but he's a con man, and he's your boss. You work for him.
Thanks.
Are you sure you don't want to answer about the committee deleting files?
Donald Trump is your boss.
Thank you, Congressman.
So he accused us of working for Trump. I wish. I wish I worked for Trump. That'd be cool. That'd be great. That'd be a cool job.
There's something about Congressman Raskin. he's so juvenile at times, and that's something I notice about a lot of the Democrats. It's like they're a bunch of angry eighth graders.
Yeah.
And let's not forget that it was a month ago that the J6 committee lost all the deposition video. Remember that on top of it. So he's part of this. Him and liar Liz Cheney, and Jamie Raskin, and the fact that he can't, number one, stop and just answer the question. That's one thing I love about what you've done over the years and your team. You always keep these people literally on the run. They're always running. They can never stop and say, they're always running somewhere. They're like, I can't.
Well, now they're wearing masks. We had Congressman Jared Moskowitz wearing a Putin mask yesterday. We got him as he was walking in. I don't know if you saw this clip. It went viral, and actually, like CNN and MSNBC actually played our clip, and it was pretty wild. Actually, our videos are now starting to get picked up. Yeah, he was walking into the Hunter Biden hearing. Let's go ahead and play this. Moskowitz.
Maybe he can come see the technology in our grocery stores. Thank you.
Congressman, don't you think this behavior is kind of immature?
The technology in our grocery stores.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, it's totally immature. Let's see. We also have the third clip. Charles confronts Raskin 3. Here's the third one. I'm telling you, every time we see him, we chase him. So here's the third clip of Raskin getting confronted.
God.
Can we get any thoughts on today?
Congressman, is Fani Willis prosecuting Donald Trump?
Well, we're looking forward to this whole thing ending soon. Their last star witness, Mr. Smirnoff, is in jail for lying to the FBI and preparing a false documentary record. So the whole investigation has the very strong whiff of a Russian intelligence operation at this point, but we'll see what they've got to say with Hunter Biden. Thank you.
Congressman, why did the J6 committee delete their documents?
You'll notice he doesn't want to answer anytime he's ever asked the question.
They're always on the move, and it's the same talking points that they learned probably in 8th grade. Russian collusion, Russian disinformation, Russia, and that way they don't have to answer questions about Ukraine or Joe Biden blowing up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. They can avoid all that and just focus on, But I don't know who's a better liar, him or Liz Cheney. I mean, Liz Cheney, I think, when it comes down to she's really mastered the ability to lie. She's at almost an Obama level.
Yeah, no, she definitely is. And, I think that, all the Democrats now, all they do is lie. It seems like they're just perpetual gaslighters. What do you think about President Trump's recent lawsuit against Stephanopoulos for defamation? And also, what do you think about, you live on the East Coast. What do you think about the fact that Letitia James, starting tomorrow, is going to be seizing President Trump's properties?
I think that's an outrage. And I mentioned it when we first got on. I was just talking about that whole thing is so ridiculous that what you have to ask yourself, what is the motivation? And that's what no one stops to ask. What is the reason that you need $500 million from Donald Trump by tomorrow, or you're going to start seizing his property? What threat is Donald Trump's legal property and business to anyone in the United States? In fact, what threat is Donald Trump to anyone in the United States? If it's become almost pathetic. As far as Trump suing Stephanopoulos, I hope he sues him into the dark ages. Stephanopoulos is another one who's been very comfortably lying since they stole the election in 2016. And he's continuing. And now they're ramping up. I don't know if you saw the latest mind games they're playing. Now they're claiming there's some type of secret Christian white male organization that wants to take over the government this year. Are you kidding me? This is what they're talking about in mainstream media. Talk about projecting.
Well, it seems like they don't just want to take President Trump's properties, but they're trying to just take over in general. This is literally what's called the Great Replacement, right? They're trying to replace everybody as an electoral strategy. They want to replace Americans. They want to replace homeowners. They want to replace Trump. They want to replace Trump supporters. They want to replace white people in America. They want to replace our cultures. And now they want to replace the concept of what it means to be a homeowner and a gun owner in America. Just in New York, where they're trying to confiscate President Trump's properties, you have the attorney general and judges now signing off on a law giving illegal aliens the right to own firearms. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yes.
And then also now the squatter laws as well. They're allowing for squatters, and these are soon to be illegal aliens, because who's going to be picking up squatting, and who's going to be picking up abandoned homes? It's illegal aliens. And so while they're confiscating President Trump's property, okay, this is like a main step in communism, confiscating people's private property and then deteriorating the borders. I mean, we are literally in the middle of a communist takeover of America. I don't think that people really understand that what we're watching isn't just a political retaliation against Donald Trump. These are the key tenets of communism. Eradication of borders, eradication of a nation's sovereignty, okay? The demonization of the wealthy, the eradication of religion. I mean, we were just told, too, the Supreme Court ruled that you can't have a nativity scene now, right? So we are witnessing a communist takeover of our country. And I want to get your take on this clip as well, because we have this TikTok clip of this illegal alien talking about wanting to confiscate property. I don't know if you've seen this clip that's made the rounds. You know the clip that I'm talking about of this illegal alien on TikTok talking about.
Yeah, Libs of TikTok.
There was a illegal alien on TikTok talking about how he wants to invade people's homes. I think we have the clip. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas, ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas, ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la calle y no ser una carga pública. Capichi, la ley dice que las casas abandonadas, deterioradas y que esté en mal estado, podemos llegar y repararlas, vivir en ellas y si podemos venderla, hasta pedir créditos con ella. ¿Qué dicen ustedes?
What do you think about that?
Well, how do you say Second Amendment in Spanish?
Pew, pew, pow, pow.
Well, no. Exactly. I don't think they understand. Yeah, that is how you say it. You're killing you right now, aren't you? You're killing yourself. You're killing you. I didn't want to get... Arriba, reload.
That's how you say it. Let's go to the chat. Let's see. Is that what the chat thinks? Does the chat think that that's how you say Second Amendment?
Well, I hope they're not coming to my neighborhood, because he's moving way too slow.
People are like, oh my God. I can't believe that you can roll your tongue that long. I'm like, yeah, I can.
That is impressive, I have to say. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. But no, what do you think about this?
Seriously, I really believe until more of us wake up to what's really happening, I think that's I think there's still a big part of the country that hasn't had this in their face. Like if you do not live in Portland, Oregon, or you do not live in Seattle or Los Angeles or Atlanta or Newark or Philadelphia or New York or many other Democrat-run cities, you might be kind of in a lull. But I look at what's happening now as an invasion. And I was under the impression that if you're coming down my street to take my food and my family in my house, well, castle doctrine.
Yeah,
and it's a shame that the Biden regime is comfortable destroying people's small businesses, destroying their livelihoods, and taking their homes for ridiculous reasons, or putting them out on the street. And it is awkward and unfortunate that there's already 25 million people here illegally in this country, and they could easily just step in. And I think there's a lot of Democrats that probably think that somehow they deserve it. It's like the same people that think the Democrats think that all these people should get amnesty.
Absolutely.
But
There's another
that's
clip
one
apparently.
Of many.
I guess there's another clip. There's another clip of this guy too. So legal alien, and we're gonna play this other clip because this guy apparently has a TikTok, and the guy that was talking about how, nos vamos invadir las casas, like we're gonna invade the homes. Where he's now talking again on TikTok too. So let's go ahead and play this other clip. We have 2 clips. Go ahead.
Bueno, mi gente, coronamos temprano en la mañana. Una ninza. Como ustedes ven, está podrida aquí, es una camioneta muy económica. La estoy vendiendo, muchachos. El que me dé $2,000 por esta camionetica, papi, se la vendo. Recuerden que es una Ninza, muchachos. Este es mi plan de negocio en Estados Unidos. Buscar carros abandonados para poder lucrarme de la pérdida de otros paisanos. Capichi, ustedes saben, la viveza criolla aquí implementada en United States. Muchachos, este prácticamente es una camionetica sencilla que es Ninza. La estoy vendiendo en $2,000. Ya tiene casi 2 días abandonada aquí. Ya me toca llevármela, papi. Ustedes dirán, muchachos, ¿cuánto ofrecen? ¿Cuánto ofrecen por esta camionetica, muchachos? Se la presento por aquí, miren. Ahorita, muchachos, voy a buscar la manera de buscar la grúa y llevármela. Tiene varios detallitos, muchachos, pero 2 luquitas, porque si la llevo para el yonque, muchachos, me van a dar solamente $1,000.
I mean,
wow.
What do you think about that? That's what we're going to have happen in our country. All these illegals are just going to come in here. They're going to start taking over abandoned homes. They're going to start taking over people's cars. They're just going to start.
They already have.
Yeah. Well, they
already
on
have.
a massive
and to add
scale.
insult, and to add insult to injury, that guy probably has more followers than I do.
I don't know. I mean, on TikTok, yeah. I don't have a TikTok either. I'm hoping that it gets banned. Are you in favor of the ban?
We're already here.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, are you in favor of the ban?
No, I don't want it to get banned.
No? Why not?
No. I think if you ban TikTok, Twitter's next. And then they're just going to go right down the line. I understand that there's partial communist Chinese ownership to it. I totally understand that. But I think as long as you can go, and this happened on Monday, as long as you can go on Telegram, Facebook, or Instagram and buy a little girl in the United States, I think you should not be focusing on TikTok, because there are a lot of there's good people messaging on TikTok too. Unfortunately, there's bad people messaging, but I find it fascinating now that all of a sudden our government cares deeply about the content and, community standards of all these different platforms. And, every day in this country, there's people still able to buy children through apps through Facebook.
Right.
I'm like, what are you doing? You kick me off Facebook because, I say something about the vaccine, and yet some pervert can buy some little boy on Monday. So I think the TikTok thing is a
control.
distraction. I think that's a distraction. I think TikTok is raw. It can be raw and offensive, but so can any platform. And once they get done with TikTok, they're going to go after Twitter next.
Well, I think it's more about the Chinese communist influence as opposed to it being offensive. Like, I don't really care about it being offensive. I care more about the fact that it's owned by the Chinese Communist Party.
Well, it's interesting because I look at the damage that the major news networks have done to our children and our country with misinformation. For example, ABC News, NBC News is not owned by Communist China, but they've done more to push communism than, think about it. Think about what they've done from a propaganda standpoint. Now, if you're on TikTok and you're being illegal, then you need to be removed, or then elements of TikTok need to be shut down if you're breaking the law.
Well, this guy's illegal because he's not only engaging in illegal activity, but he's an illegal too. So I guess we have different tiers of illegal now, right? What do you call him? Illegal, acting illegal. Yes.
Well, that's it. Well, that would be a double negative. So he would be a voter for Democrats.
We have Democrat Party voter. Exactly.
Well, no, it's a double negative. He's here illegally and he's acting illegally. So he's going to vote for Biden.
That's why I love Ken. He's got the best jokes. He's got the best.
Give him a ballot. No, I'm serious.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a joke.
You don't think he's going to be voting? He's going to drive his little friggin'. He's going to drive his broke ass Nissan to the polls, and he's going to say, "Hi, I'm Tom Jamison. I'm voting for Biden." Okay, looks like your signature.
By then he'll be able to just say, "Mi nombre es Pedro González y yo soy una."
You really are good with this. You learned a lot down there.
Democrático y señor Biden me dijo que yo puedo votar.
Andale.
That's like, no, I just think like by then we're already seeing legislation from Democrats saying that they're going to try to give illegal aliens the right to vote. I mean, look what they did in New York City. They were trying to give illegal aliens the right to vote. They were trying to make them citizens.
They already have it.
Yeah.
They already have it in local San Francisco, Los Angeles. They shot it down in New York, but they're bringing it back.
Yeah.
So the illegal foreign national invaders, they invade the school, and then the parents go to the board meeting, the illegal parents that can't speak English, and they bitch about, my kids are in your school eating your food and getting an education for free. Shouldn't we have the right to vote? And then some clown like Adam Schiff for brains says, well, you should. And
Absolutely.
that's how we get to where we are.
Let's go to the chat and see if there's anybody that has any questions for you. If you have any questions for Ken, put them in the chat. The super chat questions will be prioritized. And
I think you frighten them with your gun sounds.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a gun sound as much as it is a, some type of.
It's a war cry. It's basically like the equivalent of Allahu Akbar for the Hispanic invaders. Yes.
But there's quite a few of those. There's quite a few of that genre of people being very outspoken on social media platforms beyond TikTok and elsewhere, saying, hey, I'm here in America now and it's great and I'm going to help myself. And I got to tell you that I think the biggest misread that's taking place with the Democrats and probably most illegal foreign nationals is we're really running out of patience. And I think people forget what a well-armed country we are.
Yeah, now they're allowing for these illegals to have weapons. I mean, let's pull that article.
Yeah,
we do have that article here. Biden.
Yeah, I saw that last week, and it was a particular case where the lawyer actually said, my client deserves to be able to defend himself in this country, and they're invading the country.
Illinois judge rules illegal migrants can carry guns. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Yes.
Case involves a Mexican man charged with possessing a gun. Judge rules migrants can bear arms under the Second Amendment. Decision sparks debate on constitutional. The Constitution does not apply to non-U.S. citizens. It doesn't. You don't get to. You don't get to enjoy the Constitution being here in America if you're not a citizen. It's not.
They're an illegal invader. you have to ask yourself, who in the hell is that judge? What judge in his right mind would say?
It was a woman, of course. From what I was told, it was a woman.
Oh, but what judge in their right mind would do
a black woman, a DEI hire.
So she was historic. Was she a lesbian too? Because that would be uber historic.
I don't know. She may have been. Do we have a photo of this judge that ruled in favor of giving illegal aliens? I know she's a black woman, so she's
because you know that
people.
Jean Pierre Jabot, whatever her name is, the president.
Karine Jean Pierre, the lesbian.
Yes.
Haitian.
Well, she is the most historic hire in White House history. A black lesbian.
Here's the judge. This is the judge. She looks like a lesbian. Sharon Johnson Coleman. Let's look her up. She might be a lesbian. Let's look her up.
Man.
Sharon Johnson Coleman. Look her up on Wikipedia.
Wow, you are in a rare mood tonight with all your and then we're lesbian hunting.
Well, look, I mean, let's see, because this really does speak to the fact that we have DEI in our country. I mean, I'm just saying that it's interesting, right? Like, she doesn't have a spouse listed. She was appointed by Barack Obama. Okay, so this is the judge judge who just recently ruled that illegals. Oh, she is straight. It says that her husband is named Wheeler Coleman. So 2 out of 3. Okay?
Well, we don't know how.
Let's go back to your Wikipedia page really quick. Let's see.
Yeah.
It says that scroll up. Up. She is a United States District Judge of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois. She was formerly a Justice of the Illinois Appellate Court, appointed by Barack Obama in July of 2010. She was an assistant state attorney in the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, and then she served as an assistant United States attorney in the Northern District of Illinois. She worked in the Child Protection Division. And then also now.
Oh, that's terrifying.
It says on February 24th, President Obama in 2010 nominated Coleman to fill the seat on the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois that had been vacated by Mark Phillip, who resigned in 2008 to become the United States Deputy Attorney General. She was one of several recommendations for the seat by Senator Dick Durbin. Dick Durbin. On July 12, 2010, the United States Senate confirmed Coleman by an 86-0 vote. She received her commission on July 13th, 2010.
Yeah. Dick Durbin is another disgrace.
Okay. Yeah. Turn it up a bit. Judge Coleman has presided over a number of high-profile cases. Among those are a ruling that enabled same-sex couples to marry in February of 2014 and in advance of the June 2014 effective date for same-sex marriages.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
And here's the other part of that is, Laura, why do they have to hear about stuff like that on my podcast or your podcast? Why is it that is so beyond reality that a United States judge would say that an illegal foreign national has the right to bear arms? And then in Illinois, of all places, oh my God, the hoops they make law-abiding American citizens jump through. And Chicago's turned into a dumpster fire. It's horrific.
Funny,
I don't know
isn't
if
it? Yeah. That is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like, that is a really good point that you bring up. So in Illinois, it is so hard to get a gun in Illinois. And then they have some of the toughest gun laws in the country, yet they have the highest gun homicide rate in the country. And, just look at Chicago, for example, and then they're now allowing for illegals. That's really going to help with the gang violence down in Chicago. We're going to have a bunch of MS-13 gangbangers with guns now, and then the black.
Well, they're already armed. They're already armed. Most of these illegals that want to do us harm are already armed because of the arms trafficking. But the fact that a judge in the United States says our Constitution gives someone invading our country the right to protect themselves, isn't that giving aid and comfort to the enemy?
Is that not? Let's go to the chat, Ken. I want to see if you can take some questions from people in the chat. Hopefully people have some questions. If you have any questions for Ken, we have few more moments left of the episode tonight, so be sure that you put your questions in for Ken. See if we can get a couple questions in. Okay. Hey, said, hey, Ken, what's your opinion on Mike Lindell and his work on election security?
Well, his latest thing, I am hoping and praying that his latest information that he shared on Steve Bannon, and now it's part of it's presented now to the Supreme Court. I'm hoping and praying there's more meat to some of the other presentations he had, because I'll admit I got all hopeful for Mike. I like Mike, but I don't know if it was it was not organized right, or he just had the wrong team put together. But he claims about a week ago, Laura, he claimed that this is it. We've got all our ducks in a row now, and the Supreme Court, because we're putting it on record, now it has to go public. I'm praying that's the case. I still think he's a decent guy. Sometimes he can be a little bit unpredictable, but I still think he's one of the few private sector people trying to fix the 2020 election.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's put millions of dollars of his own funds into things to fix our election. Let's see. Sons of Liberty said, like New York is trying to do, they want to issue martial law and go from there. I think they would have done it already, but still complicating the ramifications if they can handle a civil war. What do you think about that? Oh, his audio's out. Oh, his is out for some reason. You can come back. Your audio tuned out for a bit. Let's go to the chat in the meantime while we're fixing that. Let's answer a couple more questions. I don't know why it's fading out. Let's see. Zelazia said, Laura's the best investigative reporter. Hashtag MAGA. Let's see. Ken was just having an audio issue. He's reconnecting right now. Will I do my Alex Jones impersonation again? Not right now, no. So you're arresting illegal and he has a weapon. Do you have a permit for that weapon? Sure, amigo. Yeah, exactly. That's how it's going to go down. What do I make of today's news, including DeSantis? What? The news about how he apparently did a rescue and said that it was the first rescue, and it wasn't the first rescue out of Haiti because that was Corey Mills, who we had on our show the other day. Can you teach my wife how to do the machine gun thing? Yeah, I can. Like this.
Are we back?
We're back. Yes.
Oh, you scared the living hell out of me.
Some guy said, can you teach my wife how to do that machine gun thing?
I was rebooting or something. I don't know. You know, I'm beginning to think that your sound guy was the sound guy that was working the day I lost my job.
No, I don't know why it's on your end. On our end, it's fine. It's just for some reason on your end, it's fading in and out. You can. Well,
it's interesting. The picture seems a little fuzzy tonight, and I don't know. Yeah. I mean,
no, it's clear as day. It's clear as day here. Maybe just talk a little bit louder into your microphone.
Okay, because on my end, I have a clear picture, and I'm looking at my sound levels right now.
Yeah, no, you look fine. You look clear. I don't know why you just put more light on your face, but you were fine before. Let's go to the chat again because we had that one question.
No, I'm not. I'm not doing that light part.
Oh, now you're fine. Me. Now you're fine. Now I can actually hear you again. Whatever you just did, I can hear you.
I think it is. I think it's the deep state, Laura.
Maybe, but you moved closer too, so that could also be it. Someone wanted to know if you think that we're getting close to civil war.
Yes. I don't want it. But if you are objective about it, I do believe there is a lot of predictive programming going on. The movie Civil War opens in April. The movie Leave the World Behind was a couple months ago.
Predictive programming, absolutely.
It is predictive programming.
Explain to the audience what that is, because I've used that term on my show before, but explain, because a lot of people don't necessarily understand what it is, and I agree with you, because I say it all the time.
Predictive programming, and that's why they call television programming, radio programming, content programming. What it does is it normalizes you, the observer, the viewer, the consumer. It normalizes and desensitizes anything that they want to put down the chute for you. For example, they're normalizing Civil War by making movies about America breaking into pieces. Look at all these apocalyptic movies, these dark dystopian movies, road warrior type movies, end of the world movies, movies where AI takes over. That's another big thing. The other thing that predictive programming has done a phenomenal job with is desensitizing your kids sexually. So you cannot turn on the TV or a cartoon without seeing trans or the over-sexualizing of youth, whether it's the attire or the dialogue. This is all predictive programming. And I think the same way that these news organizations, they use predictive programming by saying things like Don Lemon said, the biggest threat to America is the white male. Now, that's predictive programming. It's total crap. You know it, and I know it. Look at the statistics, the crime statistics. But if you look at what the movies are doing, the movies are walking you right where you need to go. Every single major mini series on TV, big success or not, whether it's Law and Order or not, every single time the left or a globalist has to move an agenda, they insert it, whether it's a comedy show, whether it's Law and Order, whether it's the show FBI or SWAT, they insert what they need you to be accustomed to seeing. Look, MAGA people attacking a school. That becomes a plot. Whether it happens or not in reality, the predictive programming gets you used to it. One of the best examples of this, Laura, is if you look now, you're considerably younger than I am, but when I was 10 years old, I had never, even at age 15, I had never seen a dead body. I had never seen heavy sexual content. And you can get that everywhere and anywhere right now. A 10-year-old could go online and get that. That is all by design. It's all predictive programming.
I appreciate you explaining that, Ken, because I do believe that that's exactly what we're witnessing. We're at the end of the show, but I wanted to see if there's anything that you're working on right now that you wanted to plug, where people can follow you. I know that you are trying to, rebuild your following since you got canceled. And so where do people follow you? What are you working on? And where do people sign up for your show?
Well, I do a daily podcast. And my home base is Subscribestar, but you can get to me. Just ask that Spanish guy. He's on his way to my house with his Nissan. Yeah? No, just you could go to kenmatthewsmedia.com, and that gives you all the links and stuff if you want to subscribe to my daily podcast. I'm also starting to deep dive on a lot of things too. It's interesting that you brought up predictive programming. There's my website. If you go and up on the right-hand side, get Ken for 10, it must be a good deal because it rhymes. You see? Look at that.
Get
wow.
Ken for 10.
There it is. Then you get, it's $10. It's unlimited me for $10 a month, that's a better deal than my wife is getting, actually.
Wow. Get Ken for 10, a better deal than your wife is getting. Wow.
I thought you were going to give me a for that.
That is spicy. I will give you a for that one. That is a good one. She's going to love that when that goes viral. She's going to love
when
that
I come down to Florida, we need to go out on a range. So you've shot a real machine gun, right?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't sound like that.
I am a machine gun. I'm a human machine gun, Ken.
You're
That's
in rare
what it feels
form
like
tonight.
To get lumered. It feels like you're getting gunned down.
I would imagine. We didn't even have time to talk about the joke of a budget that's out there now, but I'm so disappointed
we
with
could talk
the
about that
Republicans.
briefly if you want to. I mean, I want to have you on again. We could talk about, we had Nancy Mason talking about the budget, but just quickly, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, we know that this is a ridiculous budget bill. It's increasing more funding, of course, for the invasion, does nothing to stop the invasion. And it's just $1.2 trillion that we don't have. We're already $35 trillion in the hole already. So just before we finish, what are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts about what Congresswoman Mace said about it? What are your thoughts about Speaker Johnson and just the lack of the lack of Republican leadership and the lack of Republican backbone and saying no to more funding.
Well, I think Speaker Johnson is one of them, meaning he's one of the uniparty. I've lost faith in him. I know that if you're to be, I'm not supposed to say that, to certain, constituencies, but he's letting us down. The border should have been shut. Mayorkas should be in handcuffs. How long are we going to play patty cake with Mayorkas? We impeach the guy, and he's still running the Department of Homeland Security, which pulls rank over the FBI. We've got impeached people running departments. And we're arguing about, I looked at some of the garbage in this budget. Oh my gosh. And it's funny because Congress always puts itself first. This is what Mike Johnson said earlier today. He expects a House vote tomorrow. This does not give the members 72 hours to read the text.
No, and as I exclusively reported today, Tom Emmer, the GOP majority whip, is trying to whip votes for this. They're trying to whip votes in support of it.
Yep.
So I was able to get their internal emails, and I published those today. And you have Tom Emmer, who, thank God he's not speaker, but he tried to be speaker. Here it is right here. I've just obtained internal emails from GOP Majority Whip Tom Emmer in the whip office that were sent out today to members of the House GOP, telling them to vote yes in support of the omnibus bill. The bill is 1,012 pages. Holy shit. Okay. Like, who reads that fast? I cannot read that fast. Holy shit. The bill is 1,012 pages with a price tag of $1.2 trillion. Okay. The vote on this bill to bankrupt America is tomorrow morning. More fiscal irresponsibility from House GOP. They hate you. Click the first photo on that so you can see I'm not full of crap. Look, David Planning is from the office of Tom Emmer. The whip team will be taking to the members during today's first vote series, approximately 1:30 p.m. Exit out of that and go to the last photo in the tweet thread. Leadership recommends a yes vote. Note, this notice is being sent to all Republican members, chiefs, and schedulers. A more detailed notice has been sent to all legislative staff. David Planning, office of the majority whip. I mean, like, they are literally encouraging every single Republican to vote on this.
Yeah. The only people with a brain on this are the Freedom Caucus members. This is a load of crap. And you talk about predictive programming. They've been doing this, Republicans and Democrats, because they're one party. The leadership's one party. They've been doing this for decades. And that is, we got to hurry up and sign the bill. Why not? The government's going to shut down. Well, I don't have time to read it. Too bad. How many times are we going to hear that? That's been going on since Reagan. It's the same crap. You guys got one job up there, legislate, balance a budget. You can't do, you're not doing jack. And here's the quote.
They're not doing anything.
You get this quote from Mike Johnson. What's that?
I said they're not doing anything.
No, here's a quote from House Speaker Mike Johnson. We're also up against the crunch of the weekend, and some members on both sides of the aisle will be traveling, and that kind of thing. This is a quote from the speaker. So we're talking about how to expedite it as quickly as possible, but also allow all the members to have time to review it. No, you're not. You're trying to shove it up the American people's butt.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Congress always puts itself...
Yeah, they are exactly, you're exactly right. That's exactly what they're trying to do. And Speaker Johnson, he should have the chair vacated, honestly. I mean, this is such a lack of leadership on his part.
How do you say that with a straight face? You say, look, we're going on vacation and stuff. We got traveling to do. When are
they not on vacation? I mean, honestly, do these people even work? They're always on vacation and they always go home early. I mean, I can't imagine being a member of Congress and just going home early this much. It's unbelievable.
My response to Mike Johnson is millions of Americans cannot afford to travel this weekend and quote unquote, Mike Johnson, that kind of thing, because of your gutless leadership and crap policies. Number one, close the damn border. Stop telling me how much money you want to give to Head Start. Even the name is ridiculous. You think you're giving those kids a head start by indoctrinating them? God help us.
It's a joke, Ken, but I'm glad that you're opposed to it. Where do people follow you, Ken, if they want to get more of your commentary?
You could go to kenmatthewsmedia.com, and to answer the question someone asked, I am on Rumble. I have like segments on Rumble, but all my stuff is on Subscribestar for subscribers. But if you go on Rumble now, you'll find interviews. I just did a great interview with do you know that there's now over 20 state Freedom Caucus, Laura? There's now Freedom Caucuses in over 20 states.
I didn't know that.
So I just interviewed the chairperson of South Carolina, and he's a firecracker. You may have seen him this week. He was the guy who got in an argument and said, my constituents are smarter than you, and they're smarter than your committee.
And now he's running for Congress, right? Also, isn't he running for Congress also? Yeah, I saw him. Nice guy, nice
so I had him on. He's a firecracker.
Yeah, that was a pretty fiery speech. Yeah, I thought that was great.
But I would love to see them just shut the government down. I wish there was enough Freedom Caucus members where they could say, we're not voting for this piece of crap. We're not going to vote for another budget until you adhere to the Constitution.
Yeah,
but
they should shut it down.
Yeah, probably won't happen because the senators and congressmen have made it so they'll always get paid.
Right.
No matter how things go south, they'll always get paid. So I don't know what incentive is there.
Well, Ken, where do people follow you? What's your best social media? And where do people go to your website one last time?
KenMatthewsMedia.com is the website. And then it's called the Ken Matthews Report. If you search for Ken Matthews Report or just Ken Matthews, all one word, I'm on every single platform now, including Laura's home platform, Rumble. But I'm also on YouTube. I'm on Truth Social. I'm on Gab.
You're on X, Twitter, Ken Matthews, right? At Ken Matthews.
Yep. I'm on X. Elon has not removed me yet. You know how to get in touch with Elon? I'm trying to get in touch with him.
He had blocked me on Twitter for a while, and then he unblocked me. So
Did he
his
really?
actual account blocked me. So no, I don't have a way to get in touch with him. I don't know. A lot of people block me for some reason. It's probably not so.
Well, this has been fun. You've put in a long week of great journalism as usual. You truly are a true journalist. And
thank you.
Edward Murrow would be proud.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you do great work as well. And hopefully you get syndicated again because I miss your show. Your show is great. I mean, it was great. And when you would sub in for Rush as well. And I'll say it again. I say it all the time. I can't believe that a former spook and Obama voter have Rush Limbaugh's spot now. It should have gone to you. Like, what the F, okay? A former spook and Obama voter now have that spot. I know I get you in trouble every time I say it, so I'm going to say it one last time. A former spook and Obama voter have Rush Limbaugh's spot. He's literally rolling over in his grave. So, again, I just have to say that every time you come on because I just cannot believe that a former spook and Obama voter have the spot instead of you. But whatever,
well,
I've said my piece, and it is what it is, right? They don't seem to really
You better send me one of those Hunter Biden dolls.
I'm going to send you one, and I'm going to start giving them out, too, because I swear I have 6, giant boxes of them. And when I say, each box has 50 of them in my garage.
How did you get those? How did you come into those?
A friend of mine sent them to me. They said, I have a present for you. Give me your address. And they sent me 6 boxes. I came home one day, and I was like, oh, my God. I said, what are all these boxes? And I opened them up, and there's, I don't know, there's, 500 of these little Hunter Biden in his underwear dolls.
Well, if you want to send me a few, I'll be more than happy to cross promote and give them away on my podcast.
I'm going to send them to you for sure, and you can give them out to people as well, 100%.
Yeah, my audience they eat that stuff up. They have a great sense of humor. Oh, can I plug a movie?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're looking for a great movie to see, the new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal and Colin McGregor of the UFC. I just saw the premiere. I just saw it. It's awesome.
And what is it called?
It's called Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
You're too young to remember the original with Patrick Swayze.
Okay. I'll have to check it out.
It's the new one. It's worth every penny, and check it out. You can stream it online too. And I don't get any money for this. I just thought, if you want a movie to escape with Laura and I have to wade through every day the swamp.
That's great.
Oh my God.
I'll check it out.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you again, Laura, for having me on. Sorry about the technical
Thanks so much for coming on, Ken. It's a pleasure having you.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Negative when you should be getting after it.
Well, it's been a great show tonight. That's all for Loomer Unleashed tonight. Please be sure that you are following me on rumble.com/LauraLoomer, and also be sure that you're following me on locals at loomer.locals.com. Again, I want to thank 1775 Coffee for sponsoring tonight's episode of Loomer Unleashed. Be sure that you show 1775coffee.com/Loomer, 1775coffee.com/Loomer. Support those products wherever you support the products that I talk about on Loomer Unleashed. You are supporting my show. So please be sure you buy some coffee from 1775coffee.com/Loomer because then you are supporting my show as well. Be sure as well that you are following me on social, X, Gab, and Getter as well. And then Tuesday is make a statement. Resume on Tuesday, March 26th. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next Monday on
There is a young female journalist, conservative journalist by the name of
Chain herself. She chained herself.
Every day to taste it, I'm patient, but my mind, it can hardly take it. I'm chasing a dream that I've had for several ages, a vacant modern kingdom for the taking. Now that I've been put through hell, I never got anyone's help. I do it all myself. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up.